Oh, you want to sit there? No. The idea is reach after you. I'll sit here. No. The idea was that they wanted space. I don't understand. They want space.
Oh, they want space.
Right. So they said the rabbi is a 40-man. He cannot.
Okay, you're gonna sit there.
All right, so we'll sit over here. Yeah, you should sit there anyway.
This yours?
Because they're over here, so this way people can see. So where do I sit? There. Where do I sit? Glad you're here. Good Shabbos.
Shabbat Shalom, we begin in song.
May our temples doors be open wide to all who are hungry for love. May we welcome all seekers of truth inside, all searching for light from above. May the doors of our temple be open to all. Baruchim Havayim. May we always heed the call. May the doors of our hearts be open as well, and free from all anger and pride. May we always find the strength to dwell in God where God's love abides. May the doors of our temple be open to all. Baruchim Havayim. May we always heed the call. May we be a family of faith with love at the center. May our temple hold a beautiful light for all in winter. A sanctuary from all hatred and strife, with doors and hearts open to a more meaningful life. May our temple's doors be open wide to all who are hungry for love. May we welcome all seekers of truth inside, searching for light from above. May the doors of our temple be open to all. Baruchim Havayim. May we always heed the call.
Well, Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
I kind of heard that a little bit. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Very nice. Welcome to the Kosher Cowpokes. We're so grateful to have them elevating and making our service so wonderful and so beautiful this evening, as well as welcoming each and every one of you. I'd like to welcome forward as we welcome Shabbat. There's a lot of welcoming happening. Noel and Brian Small, and I see that they have Evelyn with them as well. If Derek is in the room, he's welcome forward too. As we light the Shabbat candles, this cold night, we welcome the warmth and the light of Shabbat into our lives. The blessing can be found on pages 2 and 3. As we invite you to light the candles, we rise as we sing the blessing together.
May the glow of these candles bring peace to the world, and the spirit of Shekinah surround us. May the blessings of our day fill our hearts with love. And Shabbat Shalom be here. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvoto v'tzivanu להדליק נר של שבת, להדליק נר של שבת.
You may be seated, and while our children are always welcome to be with us in the sanctuary, any of those that wish to have some special Shabbat activities for their kids are welcome to go with Miss Stacy in the back to Zelonka Hall for some special Shabbat activities for our youngest people present. As we continue with this theme of welcoming the Sabbath day with Lecha Dodi, page 20.
Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat, nikabla. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat, nikabla. Shabbat Shalom u'mevorah. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom u'mevorah.
Page 27. Lamdeni Elohai, teach me, O God, a blessing, a prayer on the mystery of a withered leaf, on ripened fruits so fair, on the freedom to see, to sense, to breathe, to know, to hope, to despair. We continue together. Teach my lips a blessing, a hymn of praise, as each morning and night you renew your days, lest my day be today as the one before, lest routine set my ways. If you are able to rise, I invite you to do so for the call to prayer, page 28.
La
together at the top of page 31. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. Ahavat olam beit Yisrael amcha ahavta. Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim otanu lemadata al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbenu u'v'kumenu nasiach bechukecha v'nismach b'divrei toratecha u'v'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed ki hem chayenu ve'orech yamenu u'vahem negeh yomam v'layla ve'ahavatcha al tasir mimenu le'olamim. Praise to Adonai who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, page 34.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
You may be seated as we chant together, page 36.
V'ahavta
Bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlachtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha uv'shartam le'ot hayadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha uv'chavtam al mezuzot beitecha uv'yisharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai V'yitem kedoshim Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti echem me'eretz Mitzrayim v'hiot lachem Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. We read responsively from the middle of page 39. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea.
which sang our history.
With every strand and every thread she crafted her delight.
The women marched with free spirit, dancing to the light.
When Miriam stood upon the shores and gazed across the sea,
The wonder of this miracle she soon came to believe.
whoever thought the sea would part with an outstretched hand,
And we would pass to freedom and march to the promised land.
and the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one who we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. And Miriam the prophet took the timbrel in her hand,
And all the women followed her just as she had planned.
and Miriam raised her voice in song. She sang with praise and might.
We've just lived through a miracle, we're gonna dance tonight.
And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one who we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long.
Page 43. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. We sing together on the facing page, page 42.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom, lehamidenu malkeinu l'chaim. Frost aleinu sukkot shlomecha, frost aleinu sukkot shlomecha. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. Amen. Amen.
If you are able to rise, please do, as we turn to page 46 to begin the Amidah together.
La 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 la. La 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 la. הגיבור וחנרה אל עליון, גומר חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו יחווה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל הרב הושיע. משיב ברוך וממגע השם, מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורחי הולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומחיי אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומדומה לך, מלך ממיד ומחיה ומצמיע ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יחללו הסלע. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
You may be seated. Page 55. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. We sing together on page 57 and then take a moment for silent prayer and reflection.
Ever-present One, may we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayers. Ever-present One, may we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayers. Wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land in Zion, restored in our lands, you are God whom alone we serve. In reverence, let's say Adonai Eloheinu, Be'ata Yisrael, U'tefilatam Be'ahava Tikabel.
As we turn to our prayers for those of our loved ones, members of our community, and people around the world who are in need of healing, I invite those who are with us virtually to share the names of those they are praying for, as I offer these names on behalf of our community and then invite those present to add to them. This Shabbos, we pray for healing for Jess Weinberg, Lloyd Gerard, Dolores Spector, Angie Brockman, Brandon Fernandez, Adela Seaman, John Garcia, Mila Holst, Cheryl Lieberman, Michael Cohen, Nora Garcia, Adriana Peralta, Wendy Axelrod, Tibor Schechner, Nancy Laster. Are there any names to add? Thank you.
Diane Novick and Elvira Spector.
We sing together.
Yeah.
Yes.
Figured people wouldn't want to share. So. It's so appropriate to have the kosher cowpokes with us this evening because, especially in this particular space, it's not an easy space to fill. And with your help, we're building it up together and making it the sanctuary it's supposed to be. As we all come together, each and every one of us trying to build this place into the place it's supposed to be, in a way, rebuilding it into the place it's supposed to be. The Torah portion this Shabbos is Terumah. And Terumah is a Torah portion about creation of religious tradition, identity, and culture. Whereas previously worshiping God happened seemingly in any place, at any time, at a whim, this week God invests our ancestors with a methodology, with rules and regulations to establish ritual that will serve the Israelite people. This Shabbos, we read about the details and the minutiae of the construction, the building up of the tabernacle and the holy ark. This Shabbos marks the creation of holy space, a house of God. As much as the text focuses on physical construction, in fact, what we see is that it is the hollow center within the structure that is holy, not the physical structure itself. In discussing the building of the ark, which will hold the tablets of the law, we read that the cover will be topped by 2 cherubim made of gold. They will stand on either side of the cover, facing one another, with their wings extending towards each other. And in that space between those 2 cherubim, God says, "There I will meet you, and I will impart to you all what I will command of you." God, therefore, speaks to humanity in the empty space, created by 2 figures who stand in sacred encounter with one another. And it suggests that we connect to God through our willingness to encounter, to stand together with the people and the things around us, that we reach moments of personal holiness through our openness to the world, and perhaps most commonly through community. And it all comes to a head when we read those amazing words, "Va'asu li mikdash v'shachanti betocham," "Let them make me a sanctuary, that I will dwell in their midst." Or HaChaim points out that the word is betocham, in their midst, not betocho, in its midst, to convey that God is going to be dwelling in the midst of the Israelites, not in the midst of some physical structure alone. God's presence is not there because they built some building. It is there instead because the people came together and are going to continue to come together in that space. Because God dwells not in physical space, but within the midst of the people who come together to call upon God and welcome God in. Our ancestors needed a construct to represent that idea, and we still find great value in creating beautiful spaces to represent the holiness that we feel within. But as medieval Rabbi Menachem ben Aharon said, the divine presence does not rest in the sanctuary on account of the sanctuary, but on account of Israel, for they constitute the temple of God. A place which lies empty, no matter how beautiful, is no dwelling place for holiness. A place which is filled but with strife is no dwelling place for holiness either. God exists beyond physical definition and cannot be contained or defined, but the presence of God dwells wherever community strives towards holiness together. Walls, whether gilded with gold or mosaic or plain wood or white drywall, It all serves the same purpose: to form a hollow core where God might dwell. The cherubim on the cover of the ark, too, are formed to create not some beautiful idol, but an empty space where God might be known. What we do is call out to God through our prayers, through our actions, and through our communal efforts within space, within the midst of community and sanctuary. And that is what turns a structure into a house of God. Similarly, what happens where a family lives can turn a random physical structure into a home. In our interactions with one another, in the way that we greet each other and welcome one another in doing and celebrating Jewish life together, we create a house of God. Vasuli Mikdash, this is what we must always strive for, and this is what we are commanded to do in ancient days, as according to our Torah portion this week, to build a dwelling place for God in our midst. And like the building of the tabernacle, the efforts of each and every one of us add to its value and make this place more than just some beautiful sanctuary, but a true house of God. May we continue to be inspired to join together in our efforts to welcome the Holy Presence to dwell here in this place and wherever we gather, whenever we gather together. Shabbat Shalom. This first Shabbos of February, it's also quite relevant to the Torah portion as we build up this space with joy and with celebration. We celebrate those who are observing or celebrating a birthday or an anniversary this month. If you are celebrating a birthday or an anniversary this month, I invite you to rise to share with us your name and, if you're comfortable, what it is or however many years you're celebrating. Sure. Mazel tov. Come on up. Anybody else celebrating? In that case, we are so glad that you're here to help us, to give us something joyful to celebrate. I'd love to offer on all of our behalf a special prayer for you, but also for all of us, in the way that we can be able to celebrate together, because that's what we do as a community. We celebrate one another's joys. Makor Hayim, source of life, we thank you for the blessing of life, for everything that enriches our lives. And we turn to you in gratitude as we share in the happiness of those celebrating this month. God be with them now and always. May they be blessed with health and happiness, and with the strength to overcome any and all of life's challenges. To each and every one of us, to each and every one of you, Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, may God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka, may the light of God's presence shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May you always know that God is near, and may you know peace. Baruch atah Adonai mevarech hashanim. We praise you, O God, who blesses the years. As together we say, Amen. As we turn to page 5, we welcome forward Keith Myers to read the blessing. Page 5.
Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of the fruit of the vine. Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who finding favor with us, sanctified us with mitzvot. In love and favor, you made the Holy Shabbat our heritage as a reminder of the work of creation. As first among our sacred days, it recalls the Exodus from Egypt. You chose us and set us apart from the peoples. In love and favor, you have given us your Holy Shabbat as an inheritance.
If you are able to rise, please do, as we sing Kiddush together.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagoshen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam,
continue on page 282, Aleinu L'Shabeach.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon hakol, l'tekelu l'yotzer reshit, shelo asanu kegoyei haratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kachel, venor aleinu kechol hamonam. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר לחיה אדוני למלך כל הארץ ביום ההוא ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
You may be seated as we turn to page 292 and reflect on the blessing of memory. Page 292. When cherished ties are broken and the chain of love is shattered, only trust and the strength of faith can lighten the heaviness of the heart. At times, the pain of separation seems more than we can bear, but if we dwell too long on our loss, we embitter our hearts and harm ourselves and those about us. The psalmist said that in his affliction he learned the law of God. And in truth, grief is a great teacher when it sends us back to serve and bless the living. We learn how to counsel and comfort those who, like ourselves, are bowed with sorrow. We learn when to keep silent in their presence, and when a word will assure them of our love and concern. Thus, even when they are gone, the departed are with us, moving us to live as, in their higher moments, they themselves wished to live. We remember them now. They live in our hearts. They are an abiding blessing. Mourner's Kaddish can be found on page 294. If I mention the name of a loved one you're remembering, I invite you to rise. And if you are with us virtually, I invite you to share the names of those that you are remembering this Shabbos. We mourn the recent loss of Harold Block Jr., Bernice Edelstein, Betty Stein, Luis Alberto Martinez. This anniversary week of their passing, we observe yahrzeit for Orst Arndt, Melita Axelrod, Anna Bellin, Janet Birkenfield, Gisela Bernat, Adolf Blumenthal, Barney Brickman, Judith Brody, Sarah Brody, Bernice Steinberg Cohn, Jack Armand Cohn, Rebecca Cohn, Roberto Duran, Raul Falcon, Lillian W. Frankel, Raymond Lewis Garmel, Leah Strauss-Gordon, Aaron Heller, Hannah Horowitz, Florence Adler Jacob, Henry Judd, Simon Kahn, Bertha Weiler Katz, Ruth Kern, Sandra Kern, Leon B. Krupp, Tilly Kuller, Bertie Steinberg-Lanton, Arnold Leantz, Rose Levine, Terry Liebman, Rose Lee Lipstedt, Charles Lowenberg, Harold H. Nussbaum, Nadine Pitlock, Michael Mickey Robelin, Richard Rosen, Laureen Garland Rosenberg, Shirley Rosendorf, William Saltzman, Irving Schechter, Henry Scher, Wolfgang Mike Scholl, Jeffrey Michael Schweitzer, Marshall Scher, Forrest Shyloff, Adele Siegel, Mary Smith, Gertrude Matthias Spear, Salmira Vaughn, Rose Weinberg. Are there any names to add? We remember them, and we remember all of those who have no one to say Kaddish for them as we stand together as one family in community, page 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, Be'alma divrach cherute v'yamlich malchute. B'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayed echol Beit Yisrael. B'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shemei rabba mevarach le'alam lalmei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudesha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechamata. Damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be and forever remain a blessing. As together we say, amen. You may be seated.
Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Le'al kol Yisrael. V'imru amen. Ya'aseh shalom. Shalom. Shalom aleinu. Le'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom. Shalom aleinu. Le'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom. Ya'aseh shalom. Shalom aleinu. Le'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom. Shalom aleinu. Le'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom. Shalom aleinu. Le'al kol Yisrael.
At this time, we welcome forward Temple President Stuart Schwartz to offer announcements.
Thank you very much, Rabbi. Thank you to Luann Francis, to Vladi Kranovich for serving on our BEMA, to Keith Myers for serving as well and being with us as a past president, to Andrew Cabrera for being our guru streamer tonight, and Haiti Appel for greeting us. We appreciate you very much. And obviously, a special thank you to the Kosher Cowpoke for being with us tonight. We very much appreciate your music all the time, and it's just so beautiful to hear you, to listen to you, to have you participate in our services. We are ever so grateful. To all the kids that have just come into the sanctuary, it's great having all of you here as well. Every single person, although it's cold outside, every single person in the sanctuary brings such warmth to this sanctuary. And it's so wonderful that we are all here, whether we're here in person or here virtually watching from all over the world, really. It's wonderful having everybody with us, and wish everybody a Shabbat Shalom. Let me thank our Shabbat sponsors. Streaming sponsors are Barbara Scher and Ron Blumenfeld in memory of Marshall Scher, Rose Falcon in memory of Raul Falcon, Lou Gelfand in memory of Marian Gelfand, and Marian Garmel in memory of Raymond Garmel. Our Bema Flowers, Marian Garmel, Evelyn Fox, Sam Simon, and Sue Pickens Owens in memory of Raymond Garmel. Becky and Keith Myers in memory of Barney Brickman. Fifi Heller-Keim and Boris Keim in memory of Aaron Heller. Debbie and Mike Robelin in memory of Mickey Robelin. Lou Gelfand in memory of Marian Gelfand. Susan and Paul Krupp in memory of Leon Krupp. And David Kern in memory of Sandra Kern and Ruth Kern. And our kiddish sponsors, Marvin Rubin in memory of Adele and Louis Rubin. Becky and Keith Myers in memory of Stanley Myers. Fifi Heller-Keim and Boris Keim in memory of Aaron Heller. Terrence Nicholas Reese and Will Klein in memory of Florence Adler Jacob, Carol Malloy in memory of Rose Weinberg, Julian Horowitz in memory of Hannah Horowitz, Ann and Jimmy Spear in memory of Gertrude Spear, and Lou Gelfand in memory of Marion Gelfand. Tomorrow we will have a Torah study here as well as in person, beginning at 9:30, followed by Shabbat services at 10:30. Religious school this Sunday begins at 9:30. Adult education next week on Thursday, February 10th at both 10:30 and 6:30 p.m. Choir rehearsal on February 10th at 5:30. And save the dates for February 25 and 27 when Temple Mount Sinai is scheduled a scholar in residence. Jane Larkin will be here with a special series of interactive and educational events. This event is made possible in part by a grant from the Jewish Federation of Greater El Paso, and we appreciate their support. Check your email for RSVP information. It should be a wonderful event. And then February 15th, we've got Sip and Paint again, 6:45 p.m. You must RSVP before February 11 to reserve your paint supplies and to receive a pickup location and Zoom link. Deliveries will not be available. And then March 3rd, Educating the Enemy, a talk with author Jana Perillo. This joint event with the El Paso Holocaust Museum and Study Center will be held at 6:30 here at Temple Mount Sinai. Check your weekly email for RSVP information. In May, we've got the Kala in Tucson, Arizona. You can start reserving your space there now for that. And April 24th, we're having our first annual Jewish Food Festival here at Temple Mount Sinai. We're looking for lots of volunteers to make this event successful. So if you have any interest in volunteering and participating in this wonderful event, I encourage you to contact either Noel Myers or David Perlman, and they can, I'm sure, fix you up with opportunities to help support the event. You can find Zoom and login information in the weekly Temple email, as well as additional information about the many upcoming events in that email. Shabbat Shalom.
We'll conclude with a special blessing, Lechi Lach, which can be found on page 341, which I think is especially appropriate given how cold it has been outside and all the ice and all the, may you be blessed as you go on your way, and may you be blessed with peace and safety as you go on your way, as we go from this service off into our observances of Shabbat. Following our blessing, following our song, please join us in Schwartz Hall for Kiddush and Motzi. If you are able to rise, please do. Page 341. Yesher Koach, Kosher Cowpokes. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
service. That was a great story you told.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.